Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's session. I hope that you are all okay. Can you all hear me? If you can hear me, please type yes into the chat box. Yes. Brilliant. That's awesome. Okay, fantastic. And also, could you just type your business name as well? Type where you're from. I can see we've got Claire from Tappy Toes. Hello, Claire. Emma from Go Sketch. Sing and Sign Bristol, another Sing and Sign, Heartbeeps, Tappy Toes, The Yoga Bird, oh my gosh, Amigo Kids, Wow World Group, Bristol Academy of Dance, Cook Stars. Hello, everybody. This is amazing. Rhythm Time. Joe from Leapfrog Sports. Hi, Joe. Brilliant. We always have loads of Sing and Sign people here. It's lovely to see you all. Okay, fantastic. So welcome everybody to today's session. So my name is Jenny Bradford and I'm one of the team that runs ICAP, which is the Institute of Children's Activity Providers. We're a membership body for children's activity providers. And today we're running one of our fantastic free sessions that we run, which is there to provide value for the sector. And we're going to be working today with the absolutely incredible Lucinda Dawes. So Lucinda is a marketing and copywriting expert. So she writes copy for businesses on an outsourced basis. And the other thing that Lucinda does is teach people how to write better marketing and copy. So today is going to be a fantastic session. There's going to be loads for us all to learn. And just to give you a bit of an idea about structure as well. So Lucinda's got a presentation. Sorry, I'm dropping my pen there. Lucinda's going to do a presentation for you all. And if you've got any questions at all, we're going to have a little bit of time at the end of the presentation. So if you can save, you can ask your questions throughout and I'll make a note of them. So if you prefer to ask them throughout, then please do that and we'll still make sure they're asked at the end, or you can save them for the end of the session. So is that all okay? Did you all hear that okay? If you can just type yes again. That all makes sense with everybody. Okay, brilliant. And I've also got a bit of exciting news that I wanted to share with you all as well. So Lucinda has very, very kindly offered to do a web page critique at the end of today's session. So basically, you guys can have a little think. If you've got a particular website or a web page that you would like Lucinda to have a look at, and I would urge you all to do it, then get your URL for that web page ready. And at the end of the session, once we've done questions, depending on how much time we've got, we'll do as many of those critique web pages as we possibly can. So that's going to be awesome for you all as well. So without further ado, I will hand over to Lucinda. So Lucinda will share her screen and we will get started. There's some more people in the wait room, so I'll just let those in. So over to you, Lucinda.
Cool. Okay. Well, yeah, thanks for the intro and thank you for inviting me to be here. As Jenny explained, I'm a copywriter, content marketer. I do marketing consulting, and most of what we do is create the words for people's marketing that actually work. So I'll share my screen with you. Like Jenny said, we're going to go through the presentation. There'll be time for questions and answers, and then hopefully we'll have time for a few critiques as well, because I always think it's really good to see how things actually play out in real life. So I will share this with you. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Can you give me a yes if you can see the copywriting crash course slide? We good? Jenny, can you see my slides? Cool.
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay, so first of all, when I'm talking about copywriting, the first question that I like to answer is why care about copy? So in marketing, people tend to put a lot of time and effort and energy into design, into branding, into paid ads. And then when it comes to actually what words to put in their marketing, well, they just kind of bung some words together and go, yeah, that'll do. Look, it looks great. In reality, the words are the most important part of any marketing, because it's the words that are going to connect with your target market. It's going to educate them. It's going to inspire them. It's going to move them towards that sale. I mean, if I put it to you this way, if you had a fairly ugly website that had incredible copy on it, you would convert, and you would convert well. If you had a really pretty website with terrible copy on it, it's really not going to work so well. So your copy can do lots of things for you. It can turn more of your clicks into inquiries. It converts more of your inquiries into sales. It can reduce the cost of getting a customer, because by converting more of your inquiries into sale, you're pushing down the cost per acquisition. So the cost of acquiring that customer. Can obviously help you to sell more, help you to get more customers, but also help you to get the right customers. So we can use the words in our marketing not only to attract the right people, but also to repel the people that you don't want to work with, which, if you guys have been in business for any amount of time, you'll know how important that is. And obviously it can help you to make more money. So as you can see, lots of benefits to good copy. What we need to do in any kind of copy. So you would use copy in any kind of marketing that has words. So everything from your Facebook ads to your website, to your emails, to your flyers, to literally any kind of marketing with words in it. And generally, all of your marketing with your words is going to have to try and do the same thing. So your mission with any marketing is to capture people's attention, keep them interested, and spur them into taking action. So if we just dig into this a little bit deeper, the attention phase, you need to obviously distract them from what they're doing. So if they're in their inbox, you've got to catch their attention enough to make them actually open your email. If it's a Facebook ad that we're talking about, you've got to catch their attention enough to pull them off of Facebook and to click on your ad. On your website, you've still got to capture your attention, although they're there and they're already your captive market. You've still got to get their attention enough to make them stay on the web page and not just bounce straight back off. You need to draw them in, so you need to make them want to know more about you, more about what you offer and how you might be able to help them. And then we move on to the interest phase. So in the interest phase, we want to keep them interested, and we want to basically make them interested in what it is that you have to offer. The way that we would do this is we would aggravate their problems. So we would remind them of whatever the pains and frustrations and problems are that they're experiencing, promise them the solution and kind of explain how your solution is going to solve all their problems, but also make sure that you are coming across as the obvious choice for solving that problem, because, you know, we've all got competitors, there's other people in the market, so you need them to know that not only do they have a problem and you have a solution to the problem, but you're the obvious choice for the solution. And then finally, we move on to the last phase, which is action. So in the action, we need to overcome their objections. And we're going to talk more about objections a little bit later on, because that's a very important part of copywriting. We need to make them an offer that they can't refuse, and we need to tell them why now, why they need to take action now, and either, you know, sign up for a free trial or buy your program, your whatever it is that you're selling. So I'd love to give you a magic formula. I really would. I could probably make a lot of money if I could come up with a magic formula that worked for absolutely everyone and everything. Sadly, there is no totally magic formula, because there's so many variables involved with marketing, everything from your target market to your service you're offering, your own unique way of doing business, what makes you unique. All of those things influence your copy and influence the message that you should be delivering. So what I have instead is an almost magic formula, because these are kind of the basics for any copy that if you get these right, you're definitely going to be heading in the right direction. I'm not going to go through them in depth right now, because some of them are what we cover in the 7 secrets that we're going to go through in this presentation today. And towards the end, I'm going to go through a web page that I've created previously for another course, and I'm going to show you how all of these pull into an actual real life piece of copy. I've also got a checklist that covers all of these things. So at the end of the session, I think Jenny's going to send you a link where you guys can go get the checklist, which will be really useful for you when it comes to creating your own copy. So moving on to secret number one. Now, there is a lot that goes into copywriting. It's actually not so much a writing skill. There's an element of writing skill to it. But really, it's a lot about psychology. It's a lot about sales. It's a lot about understanding human behavior. So what motivates people to take action? What motivates them to buy? Why don't they buy? And then pulling that into words to communicate that messaging. So where we always start, and this is true for any kind of marketing, not just the copy in your marketing, but before you do any marketing, you need to really, really understand your target market. Now, a lot of people that I work with come to me and they go, oh yeah, no, I got it. I know who my target market is. It's women aged between 25 to 45 who've got children under 6. I'm like, okay, cool. So it's a good start. That answers the who they are, kind of where they are, that section. But we need to dig so much deeper if we want to be able to connect with that target market and influence them into becoming a customer. So things that you need to really, really understand is who they are and where they are, because obviously that will influence your messaging. You wouldn't talk to a woman in her 30s in the same way that you would talk to an 18-year-old boy in your marketing, but also what they want. So with what they want, you think, oh, well, you know, they want sing and sign classes for their baby. They want to have something fun to do with their kids, but is that really what they want? Or is there another layer to what they want? You know, do they want a sing and sign class, or do they want the community that comes from coming to a regular class, or do they want the benefits that it gives the child? And so make sure you dig into the layers of, okay, so they want football classes for their kid. All right, but why do they want them? And then dig to that next level and go, well, they want their child to be developing, or, you know, staying fit and developing some good skills. Okay, why do they want that? And keep going until you can get to the absolute core foundation of what is driving their wants, what's their dreams, what is it that makes them feel happy. So that kind of covers what motivates them as well. So what motivates them, is it that they want to be a good parent? Is it that they want to keep their kids entertained? Their backstory. So this is an interesting one. When you understand their backstory, you can connect with them in your copy through telling their story, which is a really good way to suck people in and get them to read. So their backstory would be things like, you know, I've got a mum who is 35 years old. She's got 3 kids under the age of 8. She used to be a successful career woman, and now she's at home with the kids. And then we can start to piece together, okay, so what's some of her feelings, what's some of her frustrations, where's her head at? And that's what we really need to know. So, you know, if she used to be a high-powered career woman and now she's at home with the kids, she may be very content, but she's probably also a little bit frustrated. She's probably quite driven. She's probably quite proactive in her parenting, and all of that will pull into how you speak to them. You want to speak in their language. You want to speak in the words that they're going to resonate with and understand. So their backstory can help you to do that. Their worries, fears, and objections, and their pains, problems, and frustrations. Now, this is where the kind of gold dust is, the magic bit. I can't remember the exact statistics, but I think it's somewhere around 80% of people are motivated away from things that they don't want. And I think the other 20% are motivated towards things that they want. So it seems it can feel a little bit negative to be always talking about their fears and their objections and their worries and their pains and their problems. But actually that is what's going to spur them into action. It's what's going to make them want to learn more. Their pains, their problems, and frustrations are the real key thing here to understand, because that will shape everything about your copy. Because what your copy has to do is say to them, hey, you over there, I can see you're struggling with X, Y, Z. It's really tough, but don't worry, we've got a solution. And here's how we can take away all your problems. That in a nutshell is good copy. So I would suggest, if you've never done it, if you can't answer all of these questions immediately, then I would schedule some time to actually sit down and dig really deep into this. Like, who are they? What do they want? What motivates them? What's their fears? What's their pains? What's their problems? And don't only think about the pains and problems that relate to your product, your service. Think about the pains and problems that they're experiencing in general. So, if you run a kids' art class, well, you still want to know that they're short on time and they feel overwhelmed and that their house is a mess, or whatever it is that is going to fit with your target market, because that will allow you to make sure that you're creating copy that's in line with that kind of mindset, that kind of headspace. If you take nothing from this entire presentation other than this itself will transform the results that you're getting. So moving on to copywriting secret number 2, focus on benefits, not features. This is a really, really common mistake that I see people make. So just to clarify, a feature is something like a 3-hour session, or I'm going to use as an example of a feature. DBS checked tutors, or something that is like, actually it's a part of your product, but it's not the benefit that it delivers them with. Now, people only care about the feature, features because of how it benefits them. So what it's really important that we do is that we focus the copy around the benefits. Now, we might have to drop in the features sometimes because there'll be questions people have. Okay, so what time is the class, or what time is the club, and how long do they stay for? Yeah, they want to know that. There's not going to be a major selling point unless you are offering something that is 10 times better in features than your competitors, which the chances are you're not. And even if you were, the benefits always sells better. So you need to be telling them, what's in it for them. And that's like, we have the question of what's in it for me. So when I'm training people to write, I train up people who want to be copywriters, people who want to be content writers, and small business owners who want to create better copy for themselves. And this is one of the key things, is you have to be able to, whenever you're talking about your product, your service, what it is you deliver, or, we've got 15 years experience, or whatever it is that you're saying that is a feature, make sure you back it up with answering the question of what's in it for me, or I prefer, why do I care? So the question is, why do I care about that? So if you say we've got DBS checked tutors, my question is, why do I care? So instead of saying we've got DBS checked tutors, what you say is we've got DBS checked tutors so that you know your children are in safe hands. That's the bit I care about. That's the benefit. The benefit is I know they're safe. The feature is DBS checked. A really good practice to get into is when you've written some copy and you think it's good, is go through it and literally every sentence you write, ask the question, what's in it for me, and see if you've answered it. If you haven't, you're possibly focused too much on features and less about benefits. What else do we? I think that's pretty much it for benefits and features. Copywriting secret number 3, make it all about them. Another really, really, really common mistake that I see happening, especially on websites, is that your website talks about you as the business. It talks about you, your classes, your teachers, your business, your ethos, your mission, your values. It's all about you. And really, it's not about you at all. It needs to be all about them. It needs to be all about the reader. Now, I always kind of put this in a jokey way and say, basically, people are selfish. They care about themselves. They care about what you can do for them. So you need to make sure that your copy is focused in that way. So your website, yes, you need to obviously tell them what you do and who you are, but it needs to be flipped so that you're talking about their story, their problems, their dreams, and how your service serves them. Now, there's a really simple way that you can do this when you're new to copywriting and you're just learning. We have what we call the you to your to we to our ratio, which basically means that for every we or our in your copy, you should have 3 times the amount of yous and yours. So you can do it real simple. If you're writing in like Google Docs or Word, you can just do a search, find all the yous and yours, count how many there are, find all the we's and r's, count how many they are. And if you're not at approximately a ratio of 3 to 1, you know that your copy is too focused on you and not so much about them. And you need to go through and flip it to how you can. A good example of this is, for example, saying we have over 15 years experience. So it's similar to the what's in it for me of really what I would do is I would take away the we by having with over 15 years experience, you can be sure that we know how to help your child succeed, or whatever it is that you deliver. But we have to kind of give a why it matters to them. So yeah, so neat little trick with the U to your and we to our ratio. The more advanced you become in writing copy, the less you'll use that, because you'll already naturally be making it all about them. But it's a real good way of just doing a double check that you've not gone off too much on you and yourself in your service. The only place that this might not be true is on your about page, because obviously your about page is about you, it is about your service, but even then you would still try and get in as much of the benefits as you can to answer that question of what's in it for me. Secret number 4, attention grabbing headlines. So your headline is the most important part of any copy, whether we're talking Facebook ads or sales pages, websites, emails. Your headline for an email is your subject line. The reason it's so important is because if you get this wrong, if you have a terrible headline, it doesn't matter how good the rest of your copy is. It won't matter because nobody's reading it. Now, common mistakes I see made with headlines is people think that their headline should tell the reader exactly what it is and what they do. And in actual fact, it's the polar opposite. What we want to do is capture their attention and intrigue them so that they want to read the next line of the text. And then the next line of the text, let's say you have a subheading, well, the only job of the subheading is to make them want to read the next line of the text. So I've got some examples of headlines. I always find the best way to teach headlines is to show you some examples. We've got, I could talk about headlines for like a whole hour, so I'm not going to do that. So we've got different kind of formulas you can use for headlines, and when you have a formula, it makes it a little bit easier. Some of the formulas I'm going to give you examples of today. We've got bold statement headlines, we've got question headlines, we've got mistakes and warnings, and we've got how-tos. So this is an example of a bold statement headline. Now, a bold statement headline will work because it does a few things. So one thing it might do is it might invoke kind of an argumentative side in the reader. So, you know, marriage isn't for you. Well, hang on, I think it is. And the reader will want to read it because they want to prove you wrong. The other way it might work is intrigue. So if someone's feeling marriage isn't for them and it says marriage isn't for you, well, they'll want to read it because they're intrigued to have their feelings validated. Bold statement headlines are one of my favorite. They're quite fun to come up with as well. I think I put another example. Yeah, so this is a blog post, 10 ways traveling has ruined my kids' lives. That's quite good. It worked really, really well. We got quite a lot of traffic on that one. And actually, it wasn't a negative post. It was actually a positive. So we kind of flipped it. We were using the negative angle to draw people in. And then we delivered the positive message throughout. So this one is a question headline. So this is a headline that was written actually by my sister on a blog post, and the blog post went viral and was shared millions of times. We ended up being interviewed on various radio stations, and it was on all the major kind of Hello magazine, I think, pulled it up at one point. There was all kinds of media around this one. And it was a really clever question. Now, first of all, the benefit of using questions is we are trained from the minute we can talk, we're trained to answer questions. So if you read a question, your mind starts formulating an answer. So it gets that engagement, it gets your brain working, it gets your intrigue. But this one was particularly clever because you want to know the answer to it. It's an open question and you want to know the answer. So if you're going to use questions in your headlines, you want to try and aim for open questions and ones that people really want to know, well, actually, do I? So with this, do you know what to do if you turn around and your child is gone? Any parent's going to go, well, I think I do, but I don't know, do I? And then they open it. And that's one of the reasons it went so viral. This one's kind of a mix of the mistakes and warnings, and also a question. So kids reveal the worst parenting mistakes. Do you make the list? This is going to work because it hits on one of the fears of the target market. So the target market is obviously parents. It hits on one of their fears, and they want validation that they're not making those mistakes. And then a different kind of mistakes and warnings headline here is the shocking truth about commercial dog food. Now, the reason this will work is because it's vague. So if you're going to go for mistakes and warnings, you want to try and keep a bit of vagueness in it. I mean, really, with any headline, if you can keep it vague, then you will get intrigue because people want to fill in the gaps. They want to know what you're talking about. So the shocking truth about commercial dog food. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what the shocking truth is. I need to know. If I've got a dog and I'm feeding them commercial dog food, I'm going to want to know. And I mean, you can use some of these headlines, you can use as a kind of as a template. So you could have the shocking truth about anything, really. The shocking truth about copywriting, the shocking truth about weight loss diets. Like it doesn't matter. That kind of thing will work really well. And again, like this, the worst whatever mistakes. Entrepreneurs reveal the worst copywriting mistakes. There are a lot of formulas. I think on my website, the link that Jenny's going to give you guys at the end, I've got there's loads of different freebies and things like cheat sheets, templates, guides, etc. On there, you'll find one called 142 blog post ideas, and on it, it's got tons and tons and tons of headlines that can be used as templates. So I would suggest you go and download that and have a look, and you'll see that there's a bit of a formula to these headlines that you can basically swipe and deploy and tweak and edit to work for you. Then we've got how-tos. So I call these quick wins. People like quick wins. You might do lists under this category as well. So you might have like 50 best activities to do at home with your child, or something that's like going to be a quick win. How to get your ex back in 5 simple steps. Kind of key part here is the 5 simple steps. That makes it sound easy. If it was just how to get your ex back, wouldn't work so well, but because they've broken it down and said in 5 simple steps, people go, yeah, I can do 5 steps. And that's going to make them, if they're someone that wants to get their ex back, of course, going to make them open. So moving on to copywriting secret number 5, overcome objections. Now, people can sometimes, sorry, I just have a drink. People sometimes shy away from writing the objections that people are going to have. I think they're worried. I think from what I've understood from talking to people is they're worried that if they literally pull out the objection and say, oh, you might be worried that you don't have enough time, that it's going to make the person start thinking, oh yeah, I don't have enough time. But the truth is they're already thinking it. You don't need to worry about kind of giving them ideas of objections they don't already have. They've already got them. And because you're going to be overcoming them anyway, it's much better to get them out in the open, overcome them, get them out of the way, so that when you get to the point of asking them for the sale, that objection's already dealt with. The way that you can address them is in various different ways. So you can address them in your copy. And when I go through the page that I want to show you that I wrote a little while ago, I'll show you several of the different points in that page where we're overcoming the objections in the copy. FAQs are a really simple way to do this. You literally on your webpage, on your sales page, in your sales letter, whatever it is, even on a flyer, you put our frequently asked questions. Question number 1 is, I'd really love my child to do ballet, but she's anxious. Are your team going to be able to help? Then you answer the question. Yes, our team are really good at working. Lots of kids have anxieties and we're really good and we'll blah, 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 whatever it is you do, if you can help a child with anxiety to come to the classes. Or, I'm nervous about I'm nervous about committing to a monthly fee. Can I cancel at any time? You overcome the objection. While we like people to commit to a longer term, blah, blah, blah. You can cancel at any time, or whatever it is that fits with your model of how you do things. Another really clever way of overcoming objections is in testimonials. So we can use social proof. So people like to feel like they're making the right choice, and they like that validation to come from other people. So using testimonials on your marketing is a really good idea. And if you can have testimonials that overcome objections for them, then that can work really well. So the most common objections are generally time, money, and it's not going to work for me because. So if you've got a testimonial that says, you know, can I use this as an example relevant to you guys? Okay, so, you know, I really wanted my daughter to do these dance classes, but she's anxious, you know. Let's use the anxiety example again. So I really wanted my daughter to do ballet. She loves the idea, but she always gets really anxious. The team at blah blah were really, really great. From the very first day, they helped her feel comfortable. They didn't put too much pressure on her, and within just 2 weeks she was engaging in the class, having a wonderful time, blah blah blah. If you can get the testimonial to address and overcome the objection, that's a really, really powerful way of doing it. And then the final way that you can do, is not really a copywriting thing, it's more of a strategy thing, is if you can overcome the objection with what you offer. So for example, I've got a client who does coaching for business owners, and the business owners are really, really, really busy and overworked and overwhelmed, and they haven't got any time. So what she's done is her program has been structured with that in mind. So she doesn't do weekly, hourly coaching sessions. What she does instead is lots of little tiny mini ones, like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, that can be slotted in and around. So that's obviously, it's not a copy thing, but it's something worth considering. If there are objections that you're hitting all the time and you're not able to overcome them, it's sometimes worth considering whether your offering needs adjusting to overcome that objection. Copywriting secret number 6 is risk reversal. This can be a little bit trickier. Basically, what we want to do is say, buy our stuff. There's no reason not to. There's no risk to you. You know, we guarantee that you'll get whatever it is that you're hoping for. Now, in reality, that is a real tricky thing to do. But what I have found is that a lot of business owners kind of have a guarantee. They've just never worded it. So I always ask the question when I'm writing copy, I'm doing a brief with a client, I'm like, okay, have you got a guarantee? And they say, oh, no, we can't guarantee anything. We can't do a guarantee. And I ask them the question of, okay, but what would you do if someone was unhappy? So let's say I'm your client and I come to you and I say, do you know what? You promised me X, Y, Z, and I don't think you've delivered. I'm really unhappy and I want to complain about that. And what most of my clients say is they go, oh, well, we would try and fix the problem for them. And if we couldn't fix it, well, then we'd give them their money back. And I'm like, well, that right there is your guarantee. Like, that is what you will do. So you might as well put it in words so that you can use it in your marketing. So, you know, the guarantee becomes, if you're not happy with the service provided, we'll fix it for you. And if we can't fix it, we'll give you your money back. That has a massive, massive amount of power in a marketing message. Again, whether it's on your website, in an email, wherever it is your offer is. Other kind of risk reversal you can do as well is a warranty. Probably not going to be that relevant to you guys. A free trial is one way that you can do a risk reversal. So, you know, come along for free. You think our classes or clubs are going to be for you? Come try it for free for 14 days or however long your free trial is. And another less common way of risk reversal is pay later. So some of the kind of conferences and things I've seen, what they're doing is they're saying, you know, commit and buy your ticket now, but we won't take your payment until after the date when you've actually been and experienced the conference. And if you don't think it was worth the money, then don't pay. So lots of different ways you can do risk reversal. I'd say the simplest one is going to be if you're not doing a free trial, which I imagine some of you are. If you're not doing a free trial, then think about your guarantee. Think about, okay, what would we do if somebody was unhappy, and put that into words, and then put those words on all of your marketing, because it will have quite a big impact. And finally, copywriting secret number 7, a simple call to action. So it can be really easy to think that people will know what to do next. It will be that they will know how to buy, that they will know what happens next, that they will know to, you know, go to your contact page, fill in the form and book or buy whatever it is that you're selling. But really what it seems so simple, but it is powerful, is to actually ask them for the sale, to tell them in really clear, simple language exactly what it is you want them to do. You know, click here to sign up for a free trial now, like to that level of specificity. And then another really important thing with calls to actions is to make it a baby step wherever you can. Now, obviously, there will be a point where the question you're asking them for is to fill in their card details or make the bank transfer or pay you. And that's obviously a bigger jump. But if, for example, the first step in somebody coming to your club or your class or whatever it is that you offer, if the first step is a phone call with you so that you can have a conversation and tell them about what you do, then make that your baby step. That is your call to action on your website, is book a free 10-minute call to find out if our classes are for you. And then, you know, have baby steps all along. It's much easier for somebody to say, do you know what, actually, yeah, I will have that conversation, rather than, oh, okay, well, yeah, let's sign up, let's go. It's a much bigger decision. And then the final thing with calls to action is people don't like ambiguity. They like to know what's coming next. They like certainty. So literally tell them what happens next. So, you know, fill in the contact form and what happens next. So if they fill in the contact form, if you're going to phone them, say, fill in the contact form and we'll call you to blah, blah, blah. Or if the next thing is fill in the contact form and we'll email you with instructions on how to book, or we'll send you our brochure, or whatever it is, like literally just tell them, because it will remove a layer of anxiety. And if you can remove a layer of anxiety, you remove resistance as well. So that's the 7 secrets. So that is 7 of the basics for copywriting, which if you can get those right, you will notice big changes in the results that you get from your marketing. Like I said, one of the easiest ways for me to show you this is to let you see how it all works together, pull it all together in action. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a page that I wrote previously. Where are you? Here. Can you guys all see a page with text? I can't see or hear you, so I'm going to assume that you can.
Yeah, we can see.
Awesome. Okay, so this is a sales page that I wrote for a joint venture course that I was doing with somebody else. And I was just selling a copywriting crash course, not dissimilar to what we've done today, but in a bit more detail, and with kind of actionable training steps and projects and things to do along the way. So what I've done is I've just pulled out the bits that we've been talking about and show you where they actually go and how they actually work. So attention grabbing headline, give your sales a boost with copy that converts. So this page is targeting people who are have just started a business or have not been in business very long. They're learning all about marketing, they're learning all about conversions and sales and all of that, and they really need to start getting some conversions. So this is going to get their attention, and it's going to make them want to read the next line. This is selling the dream. So where we talked at the beginning about what is it that they really want? Well, they want to convert customers. And if we can deliver, if we can tell them that this is your problem, this is the solution, and we're the perfect people to resolve it for you, that's where we're going to start getting the sales. And that's what we're doing here, is starting to position the dream for them. This bit here is one of the bits I mentioned where we're going to overcome objections. Now, with copywriting, one of the things that comes up straight away is, yeah, no, I can't write copy because I'm not very good at English, or oh no, I can't write, I'm not very good. So I wanted here to overcome that objection right up at the beginning. Otherwise, we would lose a huge chunk of people who actually could write copy, because as I'm sure you're starting to see, copywriting is actually very different from the kind of writing that you will have learned throughout your GCSEs and schooling. Here, what we're doing is we're poking the problem. So we're trying to remind them and aggravating their problems and their pains a little bit, so that they're going, oh, do you know what, actually, yeah, that is really annoying. Yeah, I do need a solution to that. And we're also telling them that they're in the right place. So we want people to feel like when they land on a page, they're like, oh yeah, this is written for someone like me. So, you know, if you are fed up and frustrated with your marketing not converting and you read that sentence, you are going to feel, yeah, I'm in the right place. I'm going to keep reading. Here we are dangling the carrot of the dream again. So we're kind of saying there is a solution. So it's like we wouldn't just poke their pains and problems and then leave them sad and depressed. What we want to do is go, here is a problem. You're spending cash, you're not seeing a return. Don't worry, there is a solution. Then we've got a little bit of empathy. So we want them again to feel that we understand them. So when you're starting out in business, bootstrapping can be tough. Every penny matters. Your marketing can literally make or break your business. Just literally dragging them in, talking about their story, making them feel they're in the right place again. Now we're starting to talk about the solution. So as you can see, even though we're talking about the service, we're still keeping it heavily focused on them. If you remember, we talked about the you to your to our emphasis. Here we're talking about the words you use on your sales page, in your emails, on your website have the power to turn cold prospects into paying customers. And then we're going to go on to talk about the actual service, but we're keeping it heavily, heavily weighted about them because it's not about you. It is all about them, and it's all about how you can serve them, how your service solves the problem for them. Again, here is another problem, just poking that. And then this is where we get a little bit more advanced, and it's not something we've covered today. But what's really handy, if you can, is to make them feel okay about not having achieved whatever it is you're selling yet. So make it not their fault. So we've poked the problem, we've gone, oh, it sucks, your marketing's not converting, but actually it's not your fault. And that will just kind of take a little layer of resistance away from them and make them go, do you know what? Yeah, you're right. It's not my fault. Maybe this person has something good to say. Here, we're overcoming an objection again in the text. So the objection is that, oh, I probably can't, it's not for me. I can't learn to do that. So, copywriting is a skill just like any other, and with the right help, anyone can learn how to do it. So we're just trying to nudge those objections out of the way. This one, we're just trying to keep them interested. So we're saying it's not like other courses out there. Notice that I haven't said why. I'm just kind of dangling that kind of like intrigue, going, it's not like the other ones. And they're like, oh, it's not like the other ones. I want to know why. And then here we've got a little bit of social proof. So whappers is the term used for the people that this was being put in front of, were part of the WAP, and they were classed as whappers. So that's why that goes in there. But it's just like, you might have just like mums, just for mums like you, or whoever it is, just for business owners like you. Here we're selling the dream again. You can convert more customers, make more sales as you grow your business, and build yourself a brighter future. Now here we're talking about the product. Bear in mind we're talking about the product, but can you see how I'm not talking about the features? I'm not saying you'll get 10 videos of 15 minutes long with 3 activities to do, and you'll get 3 Q&A calls. I'm not saying any of that, because that's the feature that gives them the result. This is the result that they want. Therefore, this is the benefit. So this is what they care about. Giving you the knowledge and skills you need to make your marketing campaigns a huge success. Ultimately, that's what they want, is marketing that works. Here we're overcoming objection in the text again. So one of the common objections for this is that they're too busy. So we've actually verbally said that. It can be slotted in around your busy schedule. This is a feature. So at the end of each video, you'll be set a homework task to complete before you move on to the next lesson. We will mention features sometimes, but we go on here to talk about the benefit of the what's in it for me. Okay, here's a feature. Here's what's in it for you. And then down here is what I mentioned earlier about FAQs. So this is an FAQ. I just haven't called it FAQs because this is a very conversational style of sales page. And I've literally put each objection in here. I was rubbish at English at school. I don't think I'll be any good. I'm on a tight budget. How do I know it's worth the money? I'm super busy. I just don't know if I have the time. So that's a real simple way of overcoming objections. And it works really well as well. Here we've got the risk reversal, satisfaction guarantee. And then here we've got a call to action. So his kind of tagline is do your future self a favor. So we pulled that in for consistency and branding. Learn a skill that can skyrocket your sales today. Click the button below to get started. we've got a bit more social proof here. So we'd put testimonials that overcome the objections ideally. And then just to give you an idea, just for fun, I did this as well. So the you to your count. So we had 28 yous and 24 yours, 8 we's and 1 are. So that gives you an idea of how tipped the balance is to be about you and your versus we and are. So I hope that was helpful for you. If we go back to this page, yeah, we're at questions.
That was awesome, Lucinda. Thank you so much. There was so much information in there. That was amazing.
Shall I
right.
stop? Let me stop sharing so I can see people's faces.
Yes. Does anybody have any questions? So Claire has asked, what if your target market is not just one type of person, for example, mums or ex-teachers, who may not necessarily be mums? How do we speak to both in your copy?
So for starters, what you do is you split your marketing wherever you can. So I have some clients where they've got, who can I think of as an example? So I've got one client who is a therapist, and what they do is they provide therapy for people, but they also provide training courses for professionals as well. So of course, that's two very different markets, two very different languages. So what we do is we split the marketing where we can. So if you've got like flyers, you have a flyer for one market and a flyer for another market. But in places like on your website, you pick which is your main market, who is it that you're going to be talking to most. You prioritize that at the top of the homepage, and then you make it very clear that you split them into two. So you have, are you a teacher? And then you have a bit of text about the teacher story there, and click through to a page that is written for the teachers. Or are you a mum? And then it has a little bit of text, and then click through to a page that then talks about the mum. So you acknowledge it and you offer them the opportunity to segment themselves. Does that help?
Yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Good.
Okay, awesome. And then Ruth has asked, how can you find out more about your target audience to answer all the questions you mentioned?
It's a good question. So I use lots of different ways. The first thing is if you're not new to business, you will have a selection of clients that you've already worked with, customers that you've already worked with, and you can start to kind of, just by looking at them, you can start to see kind of what they are, what they're not. You can also use your experience of customers that you don't want to work with ever again. So the ones that have caused you headaches at night, and you can look at, okay, so what were they? What made them difficult? How can I quantify them? And then you pull that out onto another list of, right, that's not what I want to look at. You can ask them questions, like literally just pick a few customers, phone them up and say, wanted to ask you a few questions. Could you tell me, how do you feel about this? What was your motivation for that? Why did you choose to work with us? What did you love with us? And you can use logic and common sense quite a lot. We rely on logic and common sense, and then we roll it out with having used logic and common sense, and then we use the data to adjust. So if we miss the mark on it, we look at it and we go, okay, where have we missed the mark? Then we talk to some customers again and go, okay, can you look at this content and tell me what's not resonating with you? What have we misunderstood? The logic and common sense is a skill, but I think it's one that most business owners will have. It's like, okay, so you're a mum, you've got 3 kids under 5. You can work out already that they're tired, that they're overwhelmed, that they don't get any time for themselves, because that's just the reality for the majority of people in that category. And when you know that, well, then you can work out the mindset, the headspace that they're going to be in. How else can you get information on them? Yes, so the other place that's really important is the questions they ask you, the emails they send you, and the reasons they tell you they're not buying. So whatever your frequently asked questions are, what people actually ask you, that will tell you a lot about them. And when you ask people, oh, you didn't sign up for XYZ, could I ask you why? They'll tell you why, and then you'll know that that's an objection, and that's an objection that you need to overcome. Is that helpful?
Yes, it is. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you.
Cool.
Okay, we haven't got any more questions at the minute. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. We've had quite a few web pages come through, Lucinda. for you to critique. So are
Okay.
you able, do you want to grab them from the chat box?
I will do that. Okay. So where have we got? We've got Go Sketch. Let's go with that one. Now I always get a bit nervous with these because I've not seen your sites, so it's all off the cuff and I've no idea what I'm saying until I actually get to see it. Okay, cool. Jenny, do you want to unmute whose website is this?
Oh, it's mine. Hi.
Hello. Cool. So yeah, so thanks for giving me something to critique.
That's okay. Be as honest as you like. It's fine.
Okay, cool. I was just going to say I'm not known for my sugar coating ability.
No, that's good.
But know that it's all given in a constructive feedback way. So first thing that I would say is your website, when we land on the page, you need a headline here.
Okay.
Like pure plain text headline here. You might have an image with it next to it, but it's something that captures my attention and tells me I'm in the right place immediately. As we scroll down, I would say you've got a lack of text. You've got a lot of images. It's quite busy. And what we really want to see on a website specifically is a simple journey for the person to take. So they're going to land on the page, they're going to see a headline, it's going to draw them in, it's going to want them to know the next thing. So if what you want them to do is watch this video, take this out here, put the video in the middle and have a simple instruction of watch the video below to whatever it is that the video does for them.
Yep.
These I would then move somewhere else. Join our newsletter, browse courses, art, parties. I would say pick one. So you remember when we were talking about a simple call to action, here you're asking me to do 3 things. I'm going to get decision paralysis and I'm going to go, I don't know which I want to do. I'm going to do none. That's generally what happens if we overwhelm people. I'd then say you need a paragraph of text around about here to talk about, you know, whatever the benefits are that you give people and intrigue them a little bit more before you then drive them on to whatever it is you want them to do next. Mission, confidence.
Yeah, so that could be
Good.
higher up, I suppose.
Yes,
Maybe.
and I would change our mission because again, that's about you. I care about me and my kids. So
yeah.
Flip that to be about them. This actually itself is good because this is all benefits. So that's good. Improve their self-esteem. I care about that. Self-expression, care about that. Creative skills. Yeah, all of that is good. You could actually emphasize a little bit more as well, because what people really want, as I'm a mother, I have, well, they're big children now, but I still care about them a lot. You know, I want them to be healthy, happy, and, you know, whatever else it is. So literally spell it out, you know, improve their self-esteem, self-expression, get the creative thinking skills so that they can be happy and, you know, learn the skills they'll need for the future or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's good. I would simplify this as well. And so when you've got past this bit, literally have one button that takes them to the next step.
Yeah.
And then I'd put some testimonials in. I don't know if they're lower down, but maybe some testimonials. And again, flip all this to be you instead of we offer, we have. Flip it. Okay, so this is where it gets trickier with the you to we. So obviously this is about you, so it has to be about you. However, when we get here, you can start bringing in the what's in it for me.
Yeah.
So you can still talk about all of this, but back it up with, why do I care that that's your story? Why do I care that, you know, you believe in teaching children there's no such thing? Why, basically. Again, have one call to action button. choices are generally a bad plan.
Yeah.
Testimonials. If you can, I know it's a difficult ask, but ideally I'd want a picture of the person talking and the child together. But I do appreciate that's a hard question.
It's a tricky one, that one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is really interesting, actually. So here you've started to overcome the objections. You've pulled them out, you've called out the objections, but you've not actually overcome them. Yeah,
Yep.
So you said it's too far away, it's inconvenient times, it's too overwhelming for your child. But then the door to our art room's always open. That doesn't tell me why you're not too far away or why it's not inconvenient. Yeah.
Yeah.
Benefits. Comfort your own home. Again, lots of we's. See if you can flip them.
Flip the we's.
It's quite a long page as well.
Yeah, I mean, I need to rejig this. That's why I really wanted your advice, actually, because it will inspire me to flip it a bit. We leave home pages for ages before looking at them.
Yeah. Yeah, and this section here should be not so big, like compact it down to a smaller section and move it much higher up the page.
Yeah.
Because I need to know, before I'm even interested in what you have to offer, I have to know the benefits of it. Like it's going to improve my child's fine motor skills, better at handwriting. That's all good stuff. And I need to know it way earlier because the majority of people aren't going to scroll this far.
Yeah. It's interesting watching you scroll through it because you realize how much is on it, actually.
There is a lot on it. I was literally just going to go back up to the top and check. Yeah, so you've got other pages. So this is really useful, actually. So a home page, its only job is to get their attention, make them interested enough to click through to the next page of whatever it is. So really what you want to do is get their attention, tell them the benefits of what you do, overcome a couple of objections, and direct them to browse our courses. That's your call to action on that page. Like, your courses here. I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to do everything on this page. Yeah. But you have to think of it like a multi-step journey. Is that helpful?
That is so helpful. Thank you so much. I've got a huge page of notes, so thank you.
We had some others as well, didn't we?
Yeah, Emma, everybody, I've recorded this session, so I'll send it out to you all afterwards. So Emma, you've got a recording of that.
Oh, amazing.
Go back over.
Brilliant, thank you.
You're welcome.
We've got more than I can do in the time that we've got. So Jenny, can you tell me which one to pick?
No. Oh my gosh, I was really hoping you were just going to pick one. Just maybe scroll through and try and do a little lucky dip.
There's so many now. Right, let's go with. I've just scrolled. I'm trying to be fair, guys. I've just scrolled and scrolled and highlighted the one that I stopped on.
Okay. Drama.
Whose is this?
If you'd like to.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Courtney, hi. I'm the Education and Outreach Manager for Light Up, which is actually one of several companies we kind of run underneath our professional branch, which is Unexpected Places. But Light Up certainly gets the most traffic, so I think it would be the better of the two to be looking at.
Okay, cool. So first thing first, the pop-up, I would say your pop-up is popping too soon. I've just landed on the site. I've no idea what you do. I don't know if I want your updates yet, and you're already asking me for my email address. So I would say delay that a bit longer. If it's getting conversions, if it's getting people sign in, keep it, but delay it so that I've got 20 seconds or so to have a look, then say, do you want? You've also got a second pop-up. If you've got too many pop-ups, you'll annoy people. So pick which one you want to go with. Either the like on, I would go with the email address personally, because you'll get more bang for your buck with an email than you will a like on Facebook. Good, so we've got a video here. I would add in a headline above the video, words that captures their interest, makes them realize they're in the right place, makes them know they want to read more. Do you have music? That was loud. I would add some words, subtitles of your benefits over your video as well, if you can. Just for, it will keep people watching the video for longer if there's something for them to read as well.
We've got a lot of wheeze in there, so I'm
yeah, you have.
Thinking if we need to do a flipperoo on that.
Yes, and also, so this, I see this all the time. Welcome to blah blah blah. I get why people do it, but it literally has no value. They already know that's where they are. And your first line is so important. I would literally, actually, this is a really good point. So I find questions are a really great start on a page. It's a really easy way when you're new to copywriting, when you're trying to get to grips with everything you've got to do, because as I'm sure you're seeing, it's quite complex, is literally start with a question. Do you want to improve your child's confidence? People are going to say yes, and that's going to make them want to keep reading. So any of you guys that have got a welcome to, whatever it is, take that out and put, do you want to, whatever your main benefit is that you deliver. And then you're in the right place. That will really help you. I would say not enough copy. We've got pretty much no words other than this teeny tiny little bit. So there's another almost magic formula. Again, not a magic formula because I can't deliver you that. But what we would normally do on a web page is we start with a bit of a structure whenever we get a new web project in. And I give it to my writers and they always start with that structure, and then we adjust the structure for each individual business. So you would always have a headline. You might have a sub-headline. I quite like using sub-headlines because it's quite premium space is that top first bit, and you can do quite a lot in it. We then have a paragraph of text where we talk about the benefits, we hook them in, we poke the problem a little bit. And then I would normally have a section that literally pulls out the benefits in like 3 or 4 key points. So you might have boosts confidence, boost your child's confidence, and then a couple of sentences that talks about how it boosts your child confidence and what that will do for them. Then you'd have another tiny mini little paragraph that says makes new friends, or whatever the benefits of what you do are. So I would definitely consider doing that here. And then after the benefits, we'd normally have, what's the next formula bit? We have a little section that's kind of a why choose us. So it would be, why choose Light Up Drama, not one of the other drama schools. And again, pull it out into 3 or 4 key little sections. That is the reasons, your USP, what makes you unique, why should they choose you? Keep it focused on them. Obviously, we want more you to yours to we's to ours. Yeah, and then you would have maybe an about us, maybe an about your service, and then a clear call to action that drives them through to the next page, which I'm guessing on yours would be going to your classes, learning about your classes, or wherever it is you want them to go. So yeah, so in summary, you need more text on your page, keep it focused on you to your, add in your benefits, and then drive them through to the next step, which will be another page on the site. Is that helpful?
That's extraordinarily helpful. Thank you very, very much, Lucinda. I appreciate that.
Cool. How are we doing for time, Jenny? I have no idea what the time is.
It's 25 to 2, so we've been going for a good hour now.
Okay, cool. Should we do one more and then we'll wrap it up and let everybody get back on with their day?
Yeah, if you're happy to do one more, that would be amazing.
And then I'm going to go make a big cup of tea.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Let's do 3 Bears Cookery Club. Who is 3 Bears? Have we got you here?
It's me, thank you.
No worries. Okay, cool. So, oh, you've got a pop-up too. Same feedback on the pop-up. You're popping up too soon.
Yeah, I have made a note for that actually.
Yeah,
You said it last time.
It's a bit like, so when you pop up too soon, effectively what you're doing is, which way is it on Tinder? Is it swipe right if you like them?
I don't know. I've never done
But it's like you swipe right to say that you like them, and then someone pops up and says, "Do you want to marry me?"
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same sort of thing. So delay it or move it to a different page, or you can also set it to pop up at a certain point of the scroll.
Yeah.
So maybe let them get to like here and then have it pop up.
Okay.
Again, headline needs a little bit of work. What you're doing is telling them what you do, whereas really you want to hook them, draw them in, tell them a benefit, or poke one of their problems.
Okay.
You know, does your child love to bake but you hate the mess? I don't know how you do it. What is it you do? Subscription. Does your child love to bake but you never have the ingredients?
Yeah.
Whatever it is that is their main pain. Again, I'd lead with questions if you can, to make it about them. I would say, is your target market parents at home?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, so I would just question a little bit whether what they care about most is that you follow the early years and Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 curriculum.
Yeah, because we also target primary schools, and so a lot of our classes are delivered in primary schools, and so we do after school clubs and work and in-school workshops, but we also deliver classes which would be like which parents would book on as well.
Yeah. Okay, so I would say, yeah, so in that case you're right to mention the early years stuff, but I'd put it further down the page, and I'd put it like I mentioned with the question earlier about when you've got two different markets.
Yeah.
I would have a section that is clearly written on the page for the schools and a section that's clearly written for the parents.
Okay.
It's different motivations, different everythings really.
Yeah. Okay.
This is all the features. So I'd say that's too soon.
Okay.
I like your pictures, so cute. Yeah, so again, your headlines, junior bake box, you're assuming I know what that is and that I want to read about it. So work on that a little bit to kind of go, you know, does your child love to bake at home? Like
Yeah.
something like that. Then you go, you know, our junior bake box gives you blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
It lets you, you know, do baking without having to spend thousands of pounds on ingredients that you'll only ever use once.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good. Children's birthday parties. So you started with a question here, which is good. I would just make it a bit more, you know, are you looking for a unique birthday party for your child? Are you looking for a, you know, so just add an adjective, is it? Yeah. Add something in before the birthday to make it, because it makes it a bit more exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So here's a real good example of where you can easily flip from we to you. So we can ensure a stress-free party when you book with us. You can flip it to you'll get a stress-free party when you book with us.
Okay. Yeah.
And you'll find that a lot of the we to you stuff is really just simple word changes like that.
Yeah.
Totally
Okay.
flips the emphasis. You got any idea how well this bit works?
It works. Yeah, I do get a lot of especially for our Facebook group. I will get them all coming off from our website.
Okay, cool. If it works, then we keep it. Yeah, testimonials. I would get some testimonials on here.
Okay.
Again, make sure your call to action is nice and simple. This bit here, I love your little logo. It's taking up, that and your menu bar is taking up nearly all your premium space.
Okay.
So people will will land on the page and make a real split decision real quick whether they're going to stay or not. So if you could make that take up less of your prime space, I would say that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So that you can bring this headline up to at least about here.
Okay. Yeah.
Good. Is that helpful?
Yeah, really helpful. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, I'm conscious that you all have businesses to run, and as much as I can sit and talk about copywriting for the whole day, I won't do that to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lucinda. That was absolutely brilliant. There was so much in there. So thank you so much for doing that for ICAP. Honestly, it was just, we're so grateful to you.
No worries. I hope it's been helpful.
It's been so helpful. Has it been helpful, guys? Type yes if it's been helpful. There's lots of thank yous coming in. So yes, brilliant. And I'll send out an email to everybody afterwards. You'll get a recording. And I also need to send out the link, Lucinda, with all your templates in. People keep asking about that. So that's going to go down really well with people. And yes, and also I will be sending in, there will be an automated email that will go out asking you guys for feedback. So please do get back to us and let us know whether this session's been useful for you, because if it's been useful, then we'll keep doing more of it. So yeah, just keep in touch with us and let us know what's working well for you all. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you again soon for some more lives. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks again, Lucinda.
Cool.
Lucy has said, can you include Lucinda's details so we can get in touch directly? I'd love to connect. Yes.
Cool. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the link that Jenny's going to send out to you guys is to just what I call my free stuff page on my website. So there's about 7 or 8 different templates and cheat sheets and downloads and stuff. But it's just kind of hosted on my main website. So if you just click through, you'll see kind of how to contact me and what we do. And also, obviously, in order to get the free stuff, you're going to have to put your email addresses in. So then you'll be on my list and then you get my emails. So
and you'll get loads of examples of really good copywriting.
Cool. Well, thanks ever so much for having me, guys. Have a lovely week.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, everybody. Speak to you all soon.
So much. Thanks.
Thank you. You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.
Thank you
So much.
You're welcome.